Hi, everyone. So we're coming today to talk to you. My name is Dr. Viola Pierce, and I am the CEO and the founder of the Nurse Nurturer and VP Nursing. And our goal is to equip healthcare providers to be spiritually and physically fit, financially stable, and able to lead with integrity. We have a nursing conference or healthcare conference coming up. It's going to be August the 7th, 2020. It's going to be from 7:30 until 5:30. It's going to be on a virtual platform. You can enjoy it from your home. It is going to be amazing. We're going to have an awesome time. We have to separate a little bit because of the social distancing rules, but it's going to be good. So I cannot wait. I have Michelle Johnson, who is a certified family medicine physician assistant, coach, engaging speaker, and author of the international bestseller, Pain-Free: How to Live a Full Life Despite Chronic Pain. She focuses on healing the wounds invisible illness through the holistic health practices learned in her practice of Western medicine, as well as her study abroad of China and Cuban health systems. As the Pain-Free PA, she trains her clients in mind-body wellness that has transformative results for patients and in her own incredible journey to live a full, thriving life. Featured on various medical podcasts, including Thriving Outside the Box, Melanin Moms in Medicine, Bootcamp MD, and Sirius XM Radio. Yay! I'm super excited to have you today.
Yes,
So
yes.
I came when me and Michelle first talked. I asked Michelle. I was like, "So, what's your area of expertise?" Because with the Nurse Nurturer, our 5 pillars of success is family, fitness, finance, spirituality, and leadership. And she was like, "I really, I thought leadership would be it," but she was like, "No, I like family." I was like, okay, we can do family because it's important because, God, when he made the world, he made family after he made the world. And so we really want to be very intentional about understanding the family dynamics and what we can bring to the table as healthcare providers. So I gave her some questions. And so these are some of the questions. So what is the one thing that you can remember about your family growing up that had a significant impact on who you are today?
Girl, thank you so much for having me. That question is easy. When I was a kid, we had talent shows every Christmas Eve. And so all the kids in the family, the girls against the boys, would get up and perform for the parents. And us as the girls, we will always win. So what I felt is they taught us how to talk in front of people. They've taught us how to be comfortable expressing our voice, and they taught us how to work together. And those tenets have lasted for the rest of my life. We're still extremely close.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's something that I can probably implement with my grandsons because they're super funny and having a talent show. So what are some of the things that you would perform?
Girl, so we would dance. We had our routines. We had our outfits. We would practice at auntie's house so that the boys wouldn't see us. And we had our speeches written, and we would practice what we were going to say. One time in particular, the 12th day of Christmas, it was my part to jump out in the front and say, 5 golden rings. Couldn't sing a lick, but the acting and the ability to put yourself out there was huge. And I feel like even now, I'm not afraid to speak in public, which is a huge deal for a lot of people. But we had that training growing up.
Wow, that's super cool. Now, how has being in healthcare affected your relationship and how you respond to your family?
I am the only person in medicine in my family. And so I receive a lot of questions by email, fax, phone, bird pigeon.
Don't you love it?
And I love the fact that I get to be the person who explains that whatever it is that their provider said that they can trust, or here's another question to ask, or here's what I'm afraid of. It has been invaluable to my family for me to be in medicine. And if you guys have ever read or heard of medical apartheid, it talks about the difference in skin color and how you're treated in medicine. And so people who look like me and my family really, really crave reassurance that what they're being told is the right thing.
Right, because it's trust. At the end of the day, I remember having a physician way back when. He was, I mean, he was good at his specialty, but he was not necessarily good at other things, right?
Mm,
But he was amazingly, like his bedside manner was amazing.
love it.
That doctor, I mean, he and it, the statistics show it that, when you feel comfortable and when you feel comfortable with the advice that you're being given, then you are less likely to sue anybody because you feel confidence in the system. I mean, they come and they expect you to give them what they need, but sometimes there's that distrust or that mistrust. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that your family feels comfortable with that. So yeah, I completely understand that, because just like you said, I mean, however it comes, I get questions all the time. And I'm like, okay, I get you. And I mean, I would ask the questions too, right? I mean, that's valid. That's a valid response. So yes, I love that.
Girl, send your text pictures with
I know.
pieces of skin and rash and yes, ma'am.
I can't see. I can't tell nothing by that. Now, as it relates to work, do you feel that you have work life in imbalance?
That's a tricky word for me.
Okay.
Uh, I always look for harmony
Okay.
instead of balance. Because I feel personally, in my humble opinion, IMHO, uh, that I can't have balance in the sense of everything is equal because it's not.
Uh-huh.
So I look for harmony. You know, are the needs being met? Do we work together and create a puzzle that fits? And so in my family, I make sure that the puzzle fits. Um, the hard part is I'm a little bit of a workaholic. I love medicine. I love people, and so my family is constantly like, "Hey,
Hey,
hey,
hey, I left my water. I'll be sure.
see, see."
When he was standing there, I was like, I am live on
Mhm,
Facebook. I don't know what to tell him.
mhm. We can bring it right on in because before it's over, mine might bust through the door. Matter of fact, I had to lock it. But I say that because we have to make sure we prioritize and plan. And so we have started our family calendar. It is hung up so we all can kind of write in and see where mama going to be at this time so that I make sure that they have their priority of time.
Good, good, good. Now, have you ever found yourself being frustrated and having mom guilt because you've had a great deal going on and maybe yelled at your children?
Ask me that in front of people. Uh, so
I know.
I'm just kidding, guys. I knew the question was coming. But yes, yes, I have definitely felt mom guilt. Um, Mom guilt is something we manage. It's not something I feel that will go away. I feel like no matter what you're doing, there's going to be some aspect of mom guilt. So what you have to do is manage it.
Mhm.
For me, I was working 2 jobs just recently. I was working an in-person job and telemedicine and running my business.
Wow.
And I also have fibromyalgia, chronic pain. So there are some unpredictable things in my life.
Mhm.
And I had a lot of guilt. I said, man, I see my son in passing. And so I decided to quit my in person job and we're homeschooling my son so that I can be home and be part of that. And so you make adjustments,
That's right.
you know?
And the one thing about children that is, they make all these books, and I say this all the time. They make all these books that tell you how you should be as a mom, what you should do. And the reality is that each and every last one of those children, they have their very different DNA. And so you have to adjust based on those children, based on each one of their DNAs. And it's hard. It is very difficult. And so I have felt mom guilt too. And so what I have had to do is I've had to just step back and say, with the given information that you had at the time, you made the decision that you made, right? Because I used to yell all the time too, right? But then now I know that yelling is not such a good thing, right? So, I've been giving better information.
Yes.
And so sometimes I have to, because one of my coworkers, she was like, whenever I receive an email that I don't like, she said, what I do is I wait. She said, I wait 24 hours. And for me, it comes from a biblical standpoint, because you wait those 24 hours to give you that renewed strength, because God gives you renewed strength day by day, right? And so you get that renewed strength
to deal with that tomorrow.
Right. So that you can come back and answer those questions effectively and efficiently. So yes, I love that. I love it. Now, what are some things that you do to connect with your children?
Oh my goodness. So I have an amazing little boy. He's 13, but I keep calling him little boy. So he loves to do martial arts, to do anything physical. I'm not as physical with the martial arts, even though I practice with him sometimes. We play spades, we play chess, we play a game called Pluck. So us getting together as family, and talking smack, because we had to teach him how to talk smack in spades. It's a life skill. So we tend to garden together. We have quite a few plants around the house. And so whatever he wants us to do, he gets an hour a week to have us do what he wants us to do.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
So this Saturday, we are watching cartoons for an hour, because he has a new show he loves. So
I tell people all the time that, I am, and that's good that you're teaching him to talk smack, right? Doing spades, because I don't know how to verbally spar with people. I have no idea how to do that.
Really?
Yeah, so when people come back at me, unless it's just a knowledge that I can pop off the top of my head, I don't verbally spar. And I think it's because of the fact that I grew up essentially as an only child. See, I had sisters and brothers, but they were all out of the house whenever I came. And so, I didn't have to verbally spar with anybody. I mean, I was good.
Girl, it's never too late. We're going to have you over. We're going to teach you how to play turns, talk smack in space. Yes, ma'am. That's a life skill.
So I really need to know that, because my husband, now he will talk some smack. He is a UNC fan, and if you come up, I know. Michelle is looking like that because Michelle went to Duke.
I'm just a little nervous. Just a little bit nervous because those UNC and Duke rivalries. I'm from Chicago. I didn't understand. And I just want to make sure, because your husband just came on camera. Are we still all right?
We still all right. He actually is gone.
Girl, my blood pressure went up.
I'm going to tell you, it is serious, is it not?
They are serious.
Serious.
I got stopped in the post office. Quick story. I was wearing my Duke purse that my husband had bought me, because wherever I am, he'll get something like that. So he got me a Duke purse. I'm in the post office, and this UNC grad, I didn't know this man. He says, Duke, are you a Duke fan? I said, well, sir, I just go to the school.
That's it.
Like, okay, you have a pass. I mean, the face.
Yeah, it is serious. Serious business.
I'm sorry.
It is serious business. But yeah, we'll have to get together so that I can learn how to do that. One thing that I do with my son, because he's a teenager, right? He's 17 and he doesn't want to talk to you about anything. And I do this with
Mm.
a girl too, and she's 23. But neither one of them wants to talk to you about anything. And I think it's because when I was younger, or when I was a young mother, I didn't do a whole lot of talking. You wouldn't think that now, okay? But at that time, I didn't do a whole lot of talking. I'm an extroverted introvert, which
Mm.
means that I gain my strength from being alone. But I love people, right? And
Mm.
so because I love people, I love to just talk. And so now I'm talking all the time. And they're like, "Where did this mama come from? What is she
Wow.
doing? Why does she keep talking to me?" So, they just had to get used to it.
We're
Now,
always learning and evolving and changing.
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And as healthcare professionals, we have to learn that skill. And I had to learn that skill set, especially working in the emergency department, right? Because you have to verbally talk to because sometimes my facial expressions shows me how I'm just not happy with you because you're not taking
Yes.
blood pressure medicine. But I want to express to you that the reason why I'm not happy with you is because I want your health to be better, right?
Mm.
I want you to be better. I want you to, have a better lifestyle. And so, because of that, I'm telling you to take your blood pressure medicine. But my face may show that I have lack of peace because you're not taking your blood pressure medicine. Because I love you and I care
Yeah.
about you, right? As my patient. Now, how does your relationship with your husband and children affect your life at work?
They sustain me. They allow me to be my best at work. Um, we have a non-traditional marriage in the sense that my husband, who is a cancer survivor,
Oh wow.
is um, homeschooling my son.
Okay.
And I asked him to stay home from work and homeschool my son because I had the larger income.
Mhm.
And so they run the house.
Okay.
They do. I mean, I cook and clean when I want to. We all try to make it a team effort. And that's what we preach to our son is that regardless of the role in the family, that we work together as a team. So he knows when he's doing his chores, which now he fusses about with his face. Uh-uh. Why? Uh, he knows that this is part of his teamwork. Okay. So the way that they affect me at my workplace is they allow me to be present. I'm not worried about how my household runs because we all have our aspect as a team and I get to be in my role at that point. Now that took some work to get to. Yeah. We had to figure out what worked for our family. And it wasn't the traditional family.
And that is so true. And having that support and having that foundational support, because as healthcare providers we go in and we see things that nothing it really kind of causes us at sometimes to have post-traumatic stress disorder, right?
Absolutely.
And then you have some that go in and you have secondary trauma syndrome, because of the things that have happened, even to this day. And I tell people this all the time that whenever I am riding with my husband's a very good driver. And so I don't have that angst. But whenever I'm riding with anybody else other than my husband, I struggle
Mhm.
because what I think in my head is all the traumas that I have seen from car accidents. And
Wow.
so I struggle with it, but I have to learn how to manage it. And my husband is very good with making sure that I have what I need, that I have the things that I need in order to survive this journey,
Mm.
because it is definitely a journey. And owning my own company, still working, being a parallelpreneur. I mean, it
Mhm.
can be, it can get rough sometimes, right? When you get up at 4 a.m. and you work until 9 p.m. and
Yeah.
then you fall out in the bed. I mean, it's tough, but it is well worth it because we're serving, we're giving back, We're creating legacy for our children. I mean, it is amazing. It has been an amazing journey, and I love every single solitary minute of it. So I love
And sis, I definitely want to say for your viewers, because sometimes when we say things like how great our family is, it can feel a little bit of a loss if you don't have that support system. What I've learned is you create family as well.
that's right.
So I've moved over 15 times in our marriage. We
Hmm.
have moved far and wide away from family. And at times, both of us working and needing childcare. And we've had to collect family along the way. We've had to create trust and family to be that support outside of our blood family. So if you are in a situation where you don't have support in your family, you can create family.
That's good. That's really, really good. Because it's hard. I mean, I can imagine that it's hard. I mean, I've lived in the same area for pretty much all my life. And so I've always had, extended family around me. But even when you have extended family, I mean, it's hard for folks to take care of your children, you
Yeah,
know? I mean, it's
they
just
have their lives too.
exactly, exactly. So now, what do you think are the 5 keys to a successful marriage?
Woo. It got a little hot in here. I've been married for 15 years. We've been
Uh-huh,
together for 18. I love my husband. He is my absolute soulmate. I
uh-huh.
think one of the 5 keys for us has been being friends first. Um, Regardless of what's going on, that's my friend.
Mhm.
And so when that's your friend, you consider how you treat them. You are compassionate with their shortcomings. And you you remember that this is my friend, so let's go back to that basis in our conversation. So that's number one. I know people always say communication. People always say communication. Communication is so super duper important.
Right.
But what is communication? It is verbal, nonverbal, it's physical, it is a collection of things. And how I communicate with my colleagues and my boss is different than how I communicate with my friend. And so that's why I always say he's my friend first. Okay.
Yeah.
So, friend, communication, knowing each other's love language, because sometimes it's different. I can't give him what I need, I have to give
Right.
him what he needs.
Right.
Okay. Um, Teamwork, knowing that we have a role to play and that whatever that role is, it can change and value all the roles that we play. So, as a teammate, my husband being in a different role than what's traditional in society, I have had to always make sure he is feeling valued in his role and knows how important his role is because society sometimes gives him a different message. So, being a team. And then number 5 is probably prayer. Um, because though we are not religious, we are spiritual.
Mhm.
And knowing that there is a non-physical, non-verbal communication between us, we have to keep our spirits intact. And so making sure we feed each other's spirits is how I will say that in prayer.
That is so, so good. My husband always says, I love God first, and then I love, and then I love you. And then I love, the rest of the family. And that's how God designed it. And so, it's very important that you do know that and that we all have, just like, people say that you can't have your spouse can't be your best friend, but I think it's very important that your spouse is your best friend, right?
Absolutely.
Because I'm not going to do, I mean, I have a best girlfriend, right? And
Right?
her name is Cynthia, and let me tell you something. I mean, we are, you say something about Cynthia, oh,
It's a problem.
it's a problem. we, it's not going to be pretty. It's not
es-
going to be pretty at all, okay?
Especially if she ain't here.
And if she is here, I'm behind her. Okay, let me let you. So with my husband, it's very much in the same way because he is behind me. He is there to protect me, and I am there to protect him. And I will not let anybody come into that space and hurt my husband. And then that love language is huge too. It is huge, huge, because I didn't really understand that what he gave me, what I give him may not necessarily be what he needs, right? And
Exactly.
so I need to understand what he wants and what he needs. So that's super, super important. Now,
Hey, we got nuggets dropping around here, y'all.
all around the place. So you mentioned that you have bonus children. What was the one thing that worked in connecting with them and giving them peace as it relates to the relationship that you and their father have?
Loving their dad. Loving their dad. It can be very difficult to blend a family. And
It
I didn't have children, and my husband had 4 sons. And we had one lady thinking that he had a daughter. Yeah, right in the middle of our relationship. So being the man that he is, he's everybody's daddy. So we have actually another bonus child that is not blood, but we love her too. And loving their dad and them seeing me love their dad was huge because he's had relationships before me and maybe they didn't connect well. We had one child, I tell you a story, had one child that he wasn't on the bandwagon. He say, I don't trust this lady. It's the impression that I got. He was a kid. He didn't say these things. But I would cook for them. And they had never had home cooking like mine. And so when I would cook for them, we would talk around the dinner table and I would just ask questions. And they felt the love and that I fed them too and made sure that they were taken care of and loved, even though I didn't have my own children, that they felt like, hey, they got a bonus mom.
Sweet. And I think that is very important because I don't think some people, I didn't know. I really honestly sought out professional counseling. We sought out professional counseling when we first got together because I really wanted to understand. My husband's mother died when he was a year and a half years old. And
Wow.
my parents had been married for 62 years. And so literally it was like the polar opposites. And so I really wanted to understand and I really wanted to make sure that I knew how to, love them. And the best way to do that is to teach them by the example of loving my husband in the way that I do. And I love him, without a shadow of a doubt. With his faults, I have faults too, right? And so
Right.
with both of our faults together, and it has made such a big difference in how we handle things. It has been a pleasure, so much of a pleasure talking to you, Michelle. I absolutely we're gonna be friends forever. Michelle's in
Yes, love, try.
So this is Dr. Viola Pierce, the nurse nurturer. Nurturing healthcare providers one message at a time. We're having our healthcare conference. It's going to be August the 7th from 7:30 until 5:30. It's going to be on a virtual platform. It's going to be amazing. So go to www.v as in Victor, P as in Paul, nursing.com to register for this amazing event. There is limited seats available. Okay. Although it's on a virtual platform, but so many people that we can put on this virtual stage. And so I will go ahead and sign up now. Thank you, Michelle. I love you so far. You have a great, great day.
You too. Bye-bye, guys.